I do want to take you to one paper. On top left-hand side, Leicester 0, Arsenal 2. Is Mourinho the answer? It's from the Athletic. And I like it because it also gives a nod to his supporting cast as well. And I want to use the opportunity to give a nod to the Hale End Academy because we rave about the star players that we see on the pitch, the teenagers who really are lighting it up. But all too often we don't give the credit to the staff who work incredibly hard. I remember the 90s, the 80s, the noughties, when we used to look across the fence at some of the Germans and the Spanish and the French. Clairefontaine, La Masia, and at their conveyor belts of talent. And we used to say, why don't we do that in this country?
Yeah.
Well, there are people doing that in this country, hard-working staff who are not just at Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, City, Liverpool have done exceptionally well. Manchester United, for all their problems, are doing well as well. But at Hale End, you've got Nweri, you've got Lewis Skelly, and that headline, I don't know if I'm able to see it again, but Lewis Skelly's composure yesterday, you know, because I think from him, a lot's been said about Lewis Skelly, right? And I love characters. I love it if somebody does something fantastic, particularly if someone says, who are you? And you're able to step up and say, this is who I am. This is what I can do. And I know, I said to you the other day, I know his mum. He is very grounded, very down to earth. He's a terrific young talent, but he's also a very, very grounded young boy. And he's going to go far for that reason. Likewise, Nweri as well, because if you think about the fact that he's just 17...
Yeah, it's crazy to think how he controlled that
It's crazy
game.
to think that he could step in at this moment and do what he's done. And very often we rave about these players when the going's good. But actually, the going is very tough for Arsenal right now with all of those injuries, all of those guys who step up and hog the headlines. And this is a moment where these young players, like Mourinho, are joining Mourinho, I should say, in being able to keep Arsenal competitive, keep that consistent run going, 15 games now unbeaten, and maintain their foothold, if you like, in the title race.
I think the thing about Arsenal as well is it's not about individuals, it's about the team. So I think sometimes when we just keep talking about the fact that, oh, Arsenal need a striker, you're forgetting that what makes Arsenal so good is the fact that they're such a good team. And I think some of these players have been reading these headlines, people writing them off and saying they can't win the title without a recognised striker. What do you think the other forwards in that squad think? What do you think Mikel Arteta's saying to them? He's saying to them, look, people are doubting you. Show them what you're made of. And I thought they were brilliant yesterday at Leicester. You know, I love watching Arsenal, the way they play, the physicality, the way they switch from defence to attack, the way Odegaard brings the ball forward. And the two young players you mentioned there, I mean, sensational performances. Now, Nweri, Joe Cole on the TV coverage was comparing him to Lionel Messi. I mean,
High praise indeed.
I'm not sure I'd go quite that far, but forget, you know, if I was an Arsenal supporter, I would not be getting bogged down in arguments and debates about whether they need a number 9. I would just be getting behind this team because I think they're a fantastic team and I still think they've got a chance of winning the title.
And how much of this should go down to Mikel Arteta? You know, how much credit does he deserve from getting this? You know, he's potentially got players that would run through walls for him. It feels like that. You know, he's very much got that team. He's got their back, you know, but they talk about the joking, you know, Saliba coming out saying that he would be a forward, you know, it's the first thing that he would say. You know, everyone's putting their hand up and saying, look, I can do this. You know, how much credit goes to Mikel Arteta for what he's doing?
Well, I want to take you back to, I think, season 2 of this show.
Yeah.
When they did the documentary, and they had a lot of stick for that documentary. But I still maintain it's one of the best things they ever did because you got an insight into what he was trying to do and why he was trying to do it. And when he took over at Arsenal, it was a club with lots of players who felt that they were doing Arsenal a favour. They were overplayed, underachievers in many cases. And what he wanted to do was change the culture at Arsenal. And it's the reason why, even if they were not to win the league, I would not want to get involved in any conversations about is Arteta the right man and all of that nonsense, because a club, yes, the whole objective is to win things. But if you've got someone who's done for Arsenal what he has done, you appreciate that he's created